Hi, welcome to Rick Snider's Washington bonus content only here on YouTube. You know, you're going to see the daily one over on the other social medias. That's great. But then I tell you, come on back to YouTube. And most days I'll have bonus content for you on stories that can't be told in 2 minutes, the supplemental stuff, good stories that most people don't know about. And today I have a special one for you. 1969, a young Georgetown student gets to be the summer training camp intern for the Washington Redskins. Ooh, did I not say Washington football team? Ooh, well, you know, to me, these are Redskins stories, so I'm just staying with that. If I have a Washington football team story, I'll say that name. And then years from now, I'll tell you the other name. But for now, we're going to go with Washington Redskins if that's who they were at the time. I don't get paid to call them the other thing. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. But anyway, so 69, this young man named George Casey Jr. Gets to be it. The Redskins trained at Georgetown University that summer, and the next year too, actually, when Lombardi was there. And so Casey got to be it, maybe because his dad was a two-star Army general. Maybe that's part of what it was. You got to know somebody, you know? That's how the game's played. But anyway, he has one job after a game, which I talked about on the other show, but basically summarize it. Lombardi says, boy, I'm giving you one thing to do after the game. Stand outside the door of the locker room. Don't let anybody in. I don't want to be interrupted with the team. Okay. So the kid's out there, and who comes along? This guy named Edward Bennett Williams, who was basically the interim owner between George Preston Marshall and Jack Kent Cooke. He had Cooke's proxy on things. He didn't really own it, but he did run it for a number of years. Did a lot of great things, including hiring Bobby Beathard. Edward Bennett Williams, that's a whole other story in himself. I'll tell that one day. Anyway, EBW has his 5 kids with him. He tells the kid, listen, boy, I own this team. Get out the way. And goes on in, busts up the locker room with the kids. Man, Lombardi comes out. He gives Casey hell. Just rips him up one end, down the other. And says, kid, you're a loser. You're never going to amount to anything. I got to tell you, if Vince Lombardi said that to me back then, I think I'd be going like, oh, no, what's going to happen to me? Well, let me tell you something. This is a great story about George Casey. A year later, he graduates from Georgetown University with an international relations degree, and he would go into the military like his father. Unfortunately, 2 months later, his father is killed in Vietnam in a helicopter crash. Highest ranking man to die over there, I believe. And 2 months after that, Vince Lombardi dies of cancer right there at Georgetown University. Whew, okay, not a good year for those guys. Well, you know, young Casey decides he's going to enter the military for 2 years, do his hitch, get out. It turns out the kid was a natural leader, wasn't some loser. He would go on to be the leader of the 3rd Brigade of his dad's old 1st Cavalry Division. He served various roles in the Pentagon for several years. And then he was sent over to Iraq to be the senior coalition commander. That's a pretty big deal, too. We probably saw him on TV and didn't know it. And finally, President Bush, the younger one, names him the Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army, where he oversees 1.1 billion people in uniforms and in various other roles. And he also has a budget of $200 billion. So pretty good deal. Actually, it's 1.1 billion people. I'm sorry. Anyway, at his 2011 retirement party that he had over at the Pentagon, Casey invites the equipment manager, Tommy McVeigh, to come by and prove what he was saying about Lombardi. And Casey's telling these guys in the military, hey, you think Donald Rumsfeld was hard to deal with? Let me tell you about Lombardi. Hey, Tommy, back me up on this. I mean, he would do it. I heard it was quite a thing. And you know, if you looked at his resume, all of his life, George Casey Jr. had on the bottom there, Redskins intern. That's pretty cool, I think. You know, and when I see interns every summer at the team's training camp, I kind of tell them this story. And I said, you know, you think you're passing papers along and you're not thinking you're getting something out of this job. But look what George Casey got. He got called a loser and went on to great things. So, hey, that's just one of the stories. Many of them I have in a book came out years ago, 100 Redskins 100 things Redskins fans should know and do before they die. And it's still available. I get it on Amazon on there. And I'll tell a lot of these stories and the other stuff. The supplemental content, that's going to be pretty good stuff for you here. And the only thing I ask of you, since this is all free, is you subscribe. Please subscribe. I need 1,000 subscribers because frankly, that's where I make some money. And the old sports writer, getting a little lean times here in the pandemic, so I do appreciate your help on that. Look, we had 5 minutes. That would have been almost 3 shows over on the social media. That's why I'm doing the supplemental content here. So I'm Rick Snider for Rick Snider's Washington. Thanks for your extra time. I'll see you again soon here on YouTube.